Hey guys, welcome back to Now I Know. Today we are talking about difference between blood plasma and blood serum. Now you guys must have heard the term plasma and serum being used in different places. So let's understand what is the difference between these two. It's very important. And to understand this, let's start with blood itself. So blood, we are aware, is a liquid connective tissue which is composed of a liquid matrix, right? In this liquid matrix, all the cells and cell fragments are suspended. So this liquid matrix, in which all these cell fragments and cells are suspended is nothing but plasma. So blood is a liquid connective tissue that is composed of the liquid matrix, and that is nothing but plasma, which has all these cells and cell fragments dissolved and suspended in it. Okay, so blood, in a simple way I can say, is plasma plus cells. Now to understand this in much more detail, let's take blood sample and subject it to centrifugation. Let's try and see what all components are present in the blood. So that means you are going to spin the blood sample at specific RPM for some specific amount of time. And what this will do is it will separate all the cell components based on their size and density. Okay. So at the end of centrifugation, this is what we are observing. Okay. All the components are separated. This is what we are interested in right now. So what we observe here is this bottommost layer, red in color, is the RBC, red blood cells. This is about 45%. Above this, there is one thin white color layer which we call buffy coat. If you guys might have done some experiments where you use blood as sample and separate plasma, you use the word buffy coat, right? This is less than 1%, and that is, even though it is very small fragment, but it is very important. That consists of WBC, white blood cells, and platelets, right? So they are very important. And the largest component over here, which you can see on the topmost yellow color liquid, that is about 55%, is nothing but plasma. This is what we are interested in. So what happened is, once we centrifuged the blood sample, it just separated all the components, where you can see here, this is RBC, this is WBC and platelets, and the liquid that we were talking about, the liquid matrix, comes on the top, that is nothing but plasma. So all these blood cells are suspended in this liquid matrix. Now what is this plasma? What is it made of? So plasma is 90% of water itself. Okay, plasma, 90% of this is water, and 8% of this is proteins, very important proteins: albumin, globulin. Globulin, we know we have immunoglobulins in our blood, that is nothing but this 8% of protein contains globulin in our plasma, and fibrinogen. Okay, why I have labeled in different color is, you will see as we see the difference. Fibrinogen is nothing but important clotting factor. Okay, so I will say clotting factor. So 8% of proteins, very important: albumin, globulin, and fibrinogen. And the rest of 2% is all other regulatory proteins, electrolytes, gases, vitamins, nutrients, hormones, etc. So this is what is there in the plasma when we centrifuge the blood, and this is what we get at the end. Now one very important thing over here is, when we are centrifuging this blood, when we collect this blood and subject it for separation, this blood is mixed with anticoagulants. That means it is not allowed to clot. We avoid the clotting to get the plasma. Alright, and anticoagulants like EDTA and heparin are used to prevent the clotting. So when we collect the blood, sometimes in tube itself on the wall, this anticoagulants would be coated, or it is mixed with the anticoagulants thoroughly and then subjected to centrifugation. We do not allow the blood to clot. So this is what we call plasma. Now what is serum then? Serum is nothing but the same thing, devoid of fibrinogen, will not have only this one component, right? It is, everything is same, but there is no fibrinogen present in the serum. So what am I saying is, we take the blood sample and you allow it to clot. Okay, that means just keep it there for about 30 minutes. What will happen? Blood will start clotting. Here what we did is, as soon as we withdraw the blood, either there is anticoagulant present in the tube or we add the anticoagulants and prevent the clotting. That was the first thing that we did. In case if we want serum, what we do is after we collect the sample, we do not add any anticoagulant. It is without anticoagulant. And we allow the blood to clot. So keep the blood sample for about 30 minutes. That will allow the blood sample to clot. And then when we centrifuge this blood sample, what we have is the blood clot that is separated at the bottom, and the top layer is serum. Now it is everything the same, but what is the difference over here? The difference is blood has clotted. So now this serum is devoid of this fibrinogen. Okay, everything else is same. This is just our plasma, but it does not have fibrinogen because the blood has clotted. You can simply say that serum is nothing but plasma without fibrinogen. Alright, so serum is nothing but plasma minus fibrinogen. So what we did over here when we wanted plasma is we added the anticoagulant, avoided clotting of blood and separated the blood cells or the blood components, and we got plasma. In case when we wanted serum, what we did is we did not add anticoagulant, we allowed the blood to clot. So when the blood cells are separated, there is no fibrinogen in this supernatant or the liquid that is separated. That is nothing but plasma without fibrinogen. Everything else is the same. So you have the blood clot and the serum that is separated. Now why are we having these two things, plasma and serum? So before that, let's just put some factors that we saw, the differences that we saw between plasma and serum, and then we will see where they are useful. Alright, so just we saw that plasma we can obtain when we centrifuge the blood, which is anticoagulated. Okay, we do not allow it to clot, so that we get the plasma, because if you allow it to clot, you will not have fibrinogen. So plasma is obtained when you centrifuge the anticoagulated blood, and since it is anticoagulated blood, of course we need anticoagulants for plasma like EDTA and heparin. On the other hand, serum, we allow the blood to clot, right? We want the blood to clot, and then what liquid is separated is serum. So here we centrifuge the clotted blood, and since we allow the blood to clot, we do not need any anticoagulant. And now because plasma is anticoagulated blood, very important point or very important difference is fibrinogen is present in the plasma. On the other hand, in serum, fibrinogen is absent. This is the key difference between plasma and serum. In plasma, fibrinogen is present. In serum, fibrinogen is absent. Now, since to obtain plasma, it is anticoagulated blood, we do not allow it to stand. We need not allow it to stand. We directly mix it with the anticoagulant and go ahead and centrifuge and separate the plasma. There is no delay in the process. In case of serum, we need the blood to clot, so we allowed the blood to stand for a period of time. So it takes longer time if you want to separate serum, right? Because the blood clotting process has to occur. So these are the differences between plasma and serum. The key difference between plasma and serum is plasma contains fibrinogen and serum does not contain fibrinogen. So where are we using this plasma and serum? Now plasma in our body is, we know that the primary purpose of plasma in our body would be to transport nutrients, hormones, cells, whatever it contains in it in different parts of the body. So it has all the vital components like antibodies and clotting factors, to be very specific fibrinogen, that is present in the plasma. So when we donate blood, actually health professionals would separate or isolate all these vital components from plasma, and it will be used in different treatments like burns, trauma, shock, in treatment of hemophilia, in certain autoimmune disorders. So plasma is very, very important for treatments of various conditions. In various conditions, plasma is used. It's very, very important. When it comes to serum, Serum would be used mainly for diagnostic purpose, for diagnostic test, to find out the presence or the levels of certain enzymes, to test for, say, for example, HCG, that is human chorionic gonadotropin hormone. During pregnancy, it will be produced. So to detect that HCG presence is detected. So serum is mainly used for diagnostic purposes, whereas plasma would be in case of treatments. So that's all, basic difference between plasma and serum. What is the difference, how it is obtained, and where are they used? So that's all for now. I hope this video was helpful. Do subscribe to the channel for new video every week, and I'll see you next time. Until then, keep learning.